Um, First of all, I want to, really thank our fans that came out tonight. Like our students have been fantastic. They keep coming back. They keep showing up, and then the rest of the crowd, the community, and everybody else that came, like it's a big boost, and you can tell. Like you start coming back at the end, and you can start to hear it, the buzz, the noise, and um, I'm looking forward to the day where we put together 40 minutes of good basketball for them, and more people want to come and watch this group play. We're getting better, but we're not playing 40 minutes. And you have to against a good basketball team. That's a really good basketball team. They hurt you in a lot of different areas. They score in the post. They got shooting. They got guys that can drive it. And they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. So, like, you got to play great when you play a team like that. You don't have to be special. You don't have to step outside of yourself. You have to be the best version of yourself and hope that's good enough. And I didn't think we were the best version of ourselves for 40 minutes. So.
Micah, they made threes at a fairly high clip tonight. Was that more of the same issues you've seen in the past when teams have gotten hot against you guys from deep?
I mean, they're so hard to defend. It's almost like you got to pick your poison with them. Because Liddell and Zed Key, or, even Kyle Young, Joey Brunk, God, they got monsters in the paint. And they force you to they take up a lot of your attention in the paint. But at the same time, they got Justin Arns on the perimeter. The other guys, can shoot the ball, right? So there's good shooters that we're choosing to leave and rotate from. And they did a good job of passing out of the double team when we were double teaming in the first half, moving around. I think the second half, a couple of those were kind of untimely threes for us, were issues on where we got to be there. We got to close out harder. We got to be in their face so they can't get those shots off. So it's hard. They make you make a decision, like how you're going to guard them. We did a good job. Like if you'd have told me that Zed Key and E.J. Liddell were going to get 18 points, I felt pretty good about this. But the threes was the difference in the game tonight.
Micah, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Well, what did the game planning look like for E.J. Liddell, and how do you think your team defended him tonight?
We tried to switch against him, to take away some of his threes, but that put smaller guys on him in the paint. I didn't think. I didn't feel like we fought him as much in the first half as we needed to. And these are like everything I say to you guys, like I say to our guys in the locker room. So it's not like I'm saying something right now that they haven't heard. We needed to fight him, right? I get to switch, and he starts to walk from the three-point line. Like the fight doesn't start in the charge circle. Fight needs to start at the free throw line or above the free throw line. You can't let him get there. We needed to be better. Late in the half, he caught it deep in the paint. That's where we'll grow. That's where we'll get better. But, we didn't fight as much as we needed to in the first half. Other than that, I thought we did a great job. I mean, the dude's an All-American. He had 14 points and 5 rebounds. But offensively, we attacked him. We shot-faked him in the paint. We got him in foul trouble, and he had to watch some of the game. That was a big part of it, too, in terms of how we attacked him. And, he had to spend some time on the bench, which was another part of our game plan as well.
Micah, Jalen played 40 minutes tonight, finished with 23, pretty efficient. What did you see from him tonight, especially as he continues to grow into this, elevated level of basketball?
I think he did a good job of coming off pick and rolls, using his body, getting guys on his hip or on his back and getting into the paint and forcing them to help. Then he played with a lot of poise. He got in there, played off 2 feet. They're a great shot blocking team, right? So we wanted to try and play off 2 feet. If you go in off 1 foot, they're just going to come and block somebody's shot and just start their own break. So we wanted to play off 2 feet, settle, see if you have your shot, see if you can shot fake, and then look for kickouts after that. And he did a great job of attacking when he had the layups and then kicking out when he didn't have that. So we're putting a lot on his plate. Like he didn't come out of the game like he plays a lot of minutes, but he plays hard defensively. Like, we matched up a little bit differently, but there's been a bunch of games in a row where he's guarded the best player on the perimeter, and he's playing offense with the ball in his hands a lot. And for him to play 40 minutes, for him to play how he's played, like that's what I envisioned. When we got him, was things like this, situations like this, and I know he's probably upset that he's got 4 turnovers, and he can clean those up and move forward with those and be better at that. But if he's playing like this, he gives us a chance every night.
The road of college basketball is paved with games where a team is winning by 18 and then it's cut to 7, and then the team that was winning by 18 wins anyway. What is the difference between those two teams? I mean, they made shots that you could have put anybody in front of them and they were going in. I mean, where do you squeeze the orange in a game like that?
I mean, it's the nature of the business that I work in right now, right? It's unpredictability of 18 to 22-year-olds. And, like, some nights you watch a team play and they'll be fantastic. Then you watch them the next night and they'll be awful. You can see the same thing during a game, from minute to minute, from half to half, from quarter, or, media timeout to media timeout. That's something that, we talk about 40 minutes of focus more than anything. Like, you have to be focused on the game plan. You have to be focused on your job. You have to be focused on these things, because as you're playing, good, bad, or the other, right, there's people in the crowd that are yelling things at you. There's people, on your team, I'm a coach. I'm yelling at them for different things. There's people on the bench. There's teammates. There's people on the other team. Like, there's a lot going on out there. And whoever can focus the best for 40 minutes usually has a chance. Human nature tells you can let your guard down, right? Like, we went on a run to start the game. I felt like we let our guard down after that. I tried to warn them in the timeout. The game's not over, right? You have to do this for 40 minutes. We didn't come out to win the first 3 minutes of the game. But, that's something where I think everybody can grow from. That's something as a team. Like, the longer we play with focus, I think the better we're going to be.
And coaching changes and roster turnover tend not to be kind to teams anywhere in the country, let alone playing in the Big Ten. I'm assuming that you are not a moral victory guy, but
Exactly.
With that assumption out of the way, there are a lot of ways that this season could start or go against Big Ten teams, and to get in year one the ability to say, here, we've given you an entirely new look team, a new coaching staff, and here we go. And we're moderately competitive and have a chance more or less to win the game against a team that doesn't have to deal with any of those things. Is there something in there that you can take heart in?
The only thing I'd take solace of, or the only thing I'm thinking about is, like, how can I keep John out of foul trouble so I can play him just as much as I played Pick, right? Like, that what that kid does every day, practice, in the film room, in the locker room, on the court, that's Penn State. When I got here and people started telling me about it, I got people on my staff from Penn State and people in the community telling me about Penn State. Like, what I hear, what Penn State is, I see it every day, and I see it in John. So, like, what he does, who he is, I'm going to fight tooth and nail. Whether I got to get my old ass out there and play too, I'm going to fight tooth and nail for that dude to have a good season. So we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to watch film. We're going to learn from this. We're going to get better. And then we play a good team on Wednesday. And then we're going to get right back at it and watch film and get better. And then we're going to go to Michigan State, and we are going to fight every night. No questions asked. And when you lay it all out there like that, you can live with the results, right? If we're not putting everything we got into our preparation, if we're not laying it all out there on the court, you don't feel good. You can't feel good about the results. Like, I don't feel good that we didn't put 40 minutes together, but how we fought in the second half, I can live with the results if we play like that the entire time, and that's all we're trying to do. No matter what this record looks like, I've been on teams that have been 4-4 before. You know, there's a lot of season left, and we got a lot of ways to improve, and we're going to do that.
Micah, Seth got out to a pretty hot start tonight. Past couple of games, he struggled a little bit, but good start. Later in the game, looked like he was getting a little bit frustrated, maybe wanted some more calls, started to force a few shots. What did you say to him late in the game, after the game? What do you see from him moving forward?
Yeah, him and I, we're going to watch film and try and get better, try and learn from it. He did have a great start. He was attacking, but he needs to attack at the right times. He needs to attack as the ball moves from side to side, which breaks their defense down. If you're dribbling the ball and nobody's moving, even if you have an isolation or not, against a matchup you think you can get by. But there's, 4 other guys on the court that know that they're at a defensive disadvantage. So that's all they're doing is just staring at you and just, moving to the ball and then talking about how to stop this. So just learning from it, learning different ways to when to attack, how to attack. It's a learning process for all of us. And I'm glad he started the way he did. We need him to continue to play that way the whole game. And then he can't get down on himself. I told our guys it was my fault in the first half. I'm telling them to fight, yet I was crying to the officials about different calls. Right? That's not fighting. So I left him alone in the second half. I can't be begging for calls, and our guys are asking for calls. No, we don't need calls. We need to knuckle up and play. We need to knuckle up and fight. So I told them, I said, hey, we need more fight. I need more fight. I need to quit asking these guys, about calls, and I need to coach you guys better. And I think that's, something that Seth can do as well. Don't worry about those calls. Just play through whatever you think happened. But the more aggressive team usually gets calls, right? We didn't foul very much in the second half, but we were doing the same exact thing defensively that we did in the first half. But we were the more aggressive team, so they weren't calling it against us. The softer, less aggressive team usually fouls more, and we were that in the first half. But I was leading that charge by talking to the officials, by being on the officials about things that didn't matter in the basketball game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
I have John and Jalen coming